All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're having an exciting night of political and world event readings. We got Mel Doerr, and really excited to have Allie from Heart and Soul Connected
Thank you.
joining us tonight.
Thank you.
How are we all doing? It's a while, Allie.
I'm there. It's been so long since I've seen you, Allie.
I know it's that 24 hours is amazingly long, but yeah. Thank you. And thank you for asking me to come on tonight. That was so sweet of you both, really. Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate
of course.
I called
It's been a
Kevin
minute,
afterwards. I said,
so.
"Can Allie come on?"
it.
Like the call
We had a lot of laughs. We had a lot of laughs last night. That was fun.
We did.
It was a good show. I didn't watch all of it, but I
Mhm.
saw a few minutes in it, and it was fun. The time that
It's
I watched.
Fanta.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
It is Happy Groundhog Day, and we got
What was the
6
news
more
with
weeks of
that?
winter. Yeah.
6 more weeks. I live here in Ohio, and the weather's so unpredictable here. It's probably
Yeah.
a good 8 weeks still. You get
Probably.
snow.
You're
Papa
right.
Tony feels sees his shadow, or he doesn't see a shadow. I forget.
He saw it. Yeah. He saw
So
it.
if he
yeah.
saw it, that means cold weather for another 6 weeks. And if he
Yeah.
doesn't see it,
If he doesn't see it, then spring is soon or coming real quickly or something
it
like
means
that.
cold weather for another 6 weeks.
I haven't heard that he hasn't seen the sun forever. I mean, anytime I've ever heard. So I don't know how long it's been, but
Ray and I went to that place in New York. I think it's Puxatawny, or however you pronounce it. It was really a neat town. They have a festival and everything. It was really cool.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
I love
Oh,
upstate
well, it's not New York though. It's Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Where it was. It was nice.
Yeah. It
Wherever
is-
I'm geographically challenged.
it's okay. No
It is.
testing.
Well, and I mean, it's not like you were too far off. It's not like you were thinking the West Coast when it was.
That's right.
So,
That was a
North
nice
Dakota.
village in Hawaii.
right.
That's right. Oh wow.
And of course, we're all thinking of everybody affected by these horrific ice storms down in the south. I've had a couple clients that have really been struggling, so sending a lot of prayers and love to them.
I saw on the news that Texas, 300,000 people are without electricity after the ice storm.
Well, it's because Abbott wouldn't change the damn grid. He didn't do
Mhm.
anything about it. He's more worried about sending refugees far away. He just doesn't care about his people at all.
He's more worried about banning books from the libraries.
True.
Right.
That's true.
And so, I'm sorry, that's just Satan in Florida.
That's just Satan. Yeah, that's his brother.
Right. They're not too far away from each other with their ideology.
That's right. Yep.
All right, you guys. So if you all want to go ahead and send some political questions, we're going to go ahead and get some of those started. Before we get into some of the questions that we have started, is there anything that you guys want to read on? I know we got so much going on in the news.
I think Mel's going to read on Putin, aren't you?
Well, somebody asked a question about, I think I started, if he gave a speech today, I think in, how you say, Volgograd? And somebody asked in the comments if that was him or a double. It was Putin.
Okay.
But I wrote about it. He said that they have to stop the aggression of the collective West, and we have many weapons in our arsenal, including nuclear ones. And he's going on about they have to stop the threat of the Nazi threat in Ukraine. I'm like, what? And now I understand he put up a new bust of Stalin in Volgograd.
Oh.
Stalin, when after the breakup of the Soviet Union, Stalin's statues were torn down.
Torn down, yeah.
Because Stalin killed, they don't even know. Some say 20, 40 million people. And I saw a special on Stalin. He had a list. And he was very isolated. He didn't, just like Putin, he only talked to the maid. And I think they became lovers or something. But he had a list. And when he would put a check mark by a name, those were people that were going to die. He did that every day. And so,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Were they
I can't
pushing
believe
people
that.
out the window then?
I'm sorry?
Were they pushing people out the window then too?
No, they just sent them to
They could. They just send him out to the camps. Yeah.
But then he said, what he said was, well, it was Stalin who helped the Soviet Union defeat the Nazis in I think Stalingrad, and he was, he made our country a superpower. And I'm like, well, that was the old Soviet Union, but I'm like,
right.
Oh, so this guy's putting a bust of Stalin, who's a mass murderer, and he's playing on the xenophobia.
Yeah.
I there's been 200,000 Russian soldiers killed, but I think he had people purposely attend his rally. In other words, you come or else. That's what I think.
Oh yeah.
Under Stalin, I read the Gulag Archipelago by Alexei Navalny, and people had to clap, and anybody who stopped clapping too soon was killed. Are sent to the gulags. So,
right.
Yep. He kind of did this threat of nuclear weapons, but I don't see him deploying nuclear weapons. But what he said sounded like a play from an old Soviet playbook. He wants the old Soviet Union back, all those countries that were in the former Soviet Union, but it's not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was Putin.
And this is really bringing that awareness to the Russian people, and with this comes like that revolution for Russia too, where they become much more democratic in the not too far off in the future, I feel. But I do feel that Putin is very sick, though. I don't know how he looked in his speech today, but I do feel very intuitively like he's really struggling.
I have a lot of clients here who were from the former Soviet Union. Many are Ukraine, many are Russian, because under the Soviet Union, they were kind of all, they were a socialist republic, so they were all they were communist, but they were all kind of under the same flag. But they were separate countries. They were taken over by the Bolsheviks. But anyway, a lot of my Russian friends here have Russian friends in Russia, a Russian family in Russia.
Sure.
And now some of the real old timers, maybe a few of them like Putin, but the ones that I'm talking to that has family in Russia, their families in Russia are fearful. They don't like Putin. They're afraid to say anything. They can't get things that, they were very westernized after the fall of the Soviet Union. They can't use Visa card, MasterCard.
Right.
Women can't get feminine napkins. You can't get food. I mean, a lot of people are just very, very dissatisfied and fearful.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. It's a mess. Well, I'm wondering do you get the sense that his daughter has been put in charge of some of the stuff? Because I thought that, she was so, just like Ding-a-ling over there in North Korea with his sister. Yeah. I'm thinking that maybe the daughter has something that's happening, or, kind of a backup, or do you think it's somebody from the KGB?
I probably think, it's somebody from the former KBG, just as he was, or KGB, I'm sorry. Yeah. But I think once Putin is gone, whoever takes his place, I don't think will last long, and the Russian people are going to get tired of it. I mean, they're already speaking up.
They're already tired, yeah. Yeah, it's true. And look what he's done to, Navalny and the other guys. I mean, like Kevin said, they're just pushing them out the window, and oops, there they go. Yeah.
Well, Navalny, I think, is still alive, but
yes, he is. Yeah,
Navalny will be a martyr. And I think, behind the scenes, people are already talking about Navalny. So
yeah,
in a good way.
In a good way, you're right. Yep. Hopefully he'll be able to last through his sentence. Maybe he'll be like what's his name down in South Africa was. Remember when he was in jail, Nelson Mandela, for all those years, and then he became the leader. So
yeah.
Well, I think another Navalny is going to help spearhead a revolution against Putin. It'll be like, Putin wants the former Soviet Union back, but Navalny or people like him will spearhead a revolution.
Yes, they will. I agree.
I find it so interesting, too, that a lot of these MAGA Republicans would much rather, serve Putin than our democracy. And it's like, well, why don't you go over there and move to Russia then? where you can be fearful, you know, of you following, you know, a dictator, you know, fascist dictator, and yeah, I guess like Mel was saying, like if you don't clap, you know, they get you. You know, having to watch your back from you know, open windows. So
Well, Putin wanted to create anarchy in this country through Trump, and you know, a lot of Republicans don't care because he did.
They want the theocracy. They want big business to run everything. You know,
well, they want to run everything, but the deal is
right through them. Yeah.
If Putin could weaken our democracy, then he thought that would give him more strength in the world, but it's backfiring. I know India kind of helps him behind the scenes, and I think South Africa does, but that's going to bite them too.
It will. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, you guys. So let's get into some of these questions.
I do want to just. I just noticed that Mark, Spirit Whisperer. Did you see that his brother passed today?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm sending him lots of love. Yeah.
A lot of
he was just recently diagnosed. He's his younger brother, and so God bless him.
Was he? Oh wow! Did he have
cancer?
I'm so sorry.
I know. Yep,
yeah,
it's
sending
really
him a lot of love.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Surrounding, sending love.
Definitely.
Fat Kitty's asking, is Merrick Garland really going to do his job and indict Trump, or is he going to keep finding excuses to delay and indict? I know that me and Mel have read on this a lot, but he's doing his job. You know, this is kind of an unprecedented situation with, you know, going after a former president. So, and I think it's very much in Garland's nature to make sure he's very meticulous.
Yeah.
And, you know, wanting to make sure that he has that solid, sound evidence, and then some is what I feel. So
he did that with McVeigh. He did that exactly. Everybody said he wouldn't. Okay. He didn't say boo, you know. And then he came out and nailed McVeigh.
Yeah, he's quiet, but you know what? Then when he comes out, you know, and his wife is like an atomic bomb.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. You know, there's so many things that are going to come out from so many places, like Georgia is going to get indicted, New York now.
Right.
I just heard in the Weaselberg, I call him Weasel. I think it was Weisselberg.
Weisselberg, yeah, Weisselberg.
He was, you know, he was charged with they're thinking about charging him with insurance fraud to persuade him to cooperate in an investigation of Trump. So there's that. There's the whole New York thing. There's the Stormy Daniels thing. There's the whole alleged rape. There's, you know, trying to put fake electors in. There's, I mean, the insurrection. So Merrick Garland has got so much he's investigating, but he was smart when he appointed a special investigator, our prosecutor.
Oh yeah, Jack Smith. I think that was a great move. Yeah.
And Jack Smith is going to be very.
Jack Smith is going to be. Jack Smith going like full steam ahead on that.
Jack Smith is going to be very methodical. They're going to make sure they have enough to indict. They're just not going to throw stuff and see what sticks against them.
Yeah, it's too high a cost for him to do anything too fast, I think.
Unlike what the House is doing right now and having a you know what show, you know, they're trying to divert everybody from the truth, but it won't work.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe we should take Marjorie Taylor Greene, Jim Jordan, who else? McCarthy, Matt Gaetz, who else? Josh
Boebert. Yeah.
Oh, Boebert, please. Babies, Bibles, and Jesus. Maybe.
And Georgie Santos.
Yeah, maybe they should just all go live with Putin and call it a day.
I have a question, guys. Do you think that Kevin told him to step down off his committees, or do you think he just made that decision himself?
I think behind the scenes he was told to do it.
Yeah, I think he was pressured.
I think so too.
But he says he's not going to resign. But I see him extradited to Brazil at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and I've said this for a while. I feel like quite a few of the GOP members of the House are going to either have to step down or be removed. And I kind of feel like George Santos will be like the first before like a lot of the January 6th indictments and that stuff really starts to ramp up in the spring. Yeah, and I think it's more federal, although I agree with Mel. I do see legal issues with Brazil as well, but I feel federal charges against him, I think, for campaign finance violations.
Oh, when you put $199.99 on everything because you don't have to have a receipt for over $200 or more, you know, that's the writing on the wall. How stupid is that? Yeah.
Paper trail. You remember Roy Rogers and Dale Evans? Happy trails to you.
That's right.
Paper
Yes,
trails.
paper trails to you. I love it. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Oh, that's fun.
Okay, so I think he's doing his job. I just don't think he's making a public miracle. My point was there's so much he's investigating.
Yeah.
He's got a lot.
It's only so much one man can do. You know.
Well, now this FBI agent that was just arrested, you know, he's going to sing, so that opens up
a lot coming out with that
whole 2016 stuff and a whole other host of stuff.
So are you guys seeing March as a time for things to start flowing? Because I've heard that from Linda before, and a few other people are seeing March as the beginning. The beginning.
Timing's always a bit hard, but March is coming in like really strong, and I do feel like maybe Georgia will act. Now we're into February, so even sometime this month, I feel like we're on the precipice of something like really big coming out.
Yeah,
I think, you know, I had Aiden on my show the other night, and we just kind of made a little prediction for February, and I said, I think it's going to be the month of accountability. In fact, this whole year is going to be the year of
the whole year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And we're seeing that, like we said, with the younger Democrats that are standing up and they're saying, you know, this is not the way it's going to be. We're going to stand up against you, and we're going to be strong in what we do, you know. So
and that's really something the Democratic Party has been lacking. And that's what makes me excited with this more progressive, younger leadership coming in. Is that fire in the belly, and you know, you know, it's okay to go the high road, which is what I think a lot of Democrats do, and they don't want to put energy to it. But when it's so dangerous and it's so crazy what's going on, you need to call that out.
Yeah, you do. You have this accountability. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a good one. Can I bring this one up? I just love this one.
Sure.
I like this. Cindy P. I don't know what this is about.
I heard about this, Cindy. I did.
What is it about, Allie? What did you hear?
He wants to make sure that a girl is a girl. And so she has to register her menstrual cycles so that, well, for the abortion thing, for number one, I think. And also, I believe it's for the athletic thing. Yeah. Well, you know, he's taking the books out. Now he's going to go after the girls.
That's not going to hold up. Because number one, it's an invasion of somebody's privacy. It's none of his business.
Exactly.
You know, the government should keep their hands out of our pocketbooks and their eyes out of women's hoo-has.
Right. So it is women athletes, you said, only. Okay. He won't say why. We know why. I think it's, you know, he because wasn't there also a woman like in Africa or something? She wasn't transgendered, but she had like a little bit of a Y. Chromosome or something else. Yeah. And they said, oh, she shouldn't be listed as a woman. And she wasn't even, you know, she didn't have surgery, reassignment surgery. So now he's just getting
what he's
very
doing,
Hitlerish.
He's picking on LGBTQ. He's picking on transgendered people.
Yes, he is.
He's picking on, you know, he's being a bully. And
absolutely.
It's not going to work. So
he doesn't like the Cubans either, and he doesn't like anybody that's not white. Is what I'm getting.
Well, a lot of Cubans are Republicans, so he better like them because they might be the ones to. They're probably some of the Cubans who voted him in office.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Though I don't see that if that's something he's even able to try to pass, that legally that stands.
Yeah.
Does he sit up at night thinking of this stuff?
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
When I look at him, there's living proof that Roe v. Wade should really be upheld.
Well, you know, you see somebody like him. He's 44 years old, and Zelensky is 44 years old, and Macron, what is it? Macron is 44 years old, and yeah, just
well,
it just blows my mind.
I think DeSantis really, he kind of came in the picture shortly after Trump, and he saw Trump's stick, and so he's trying to copy it to get that popularity. I saw a super chat come in. Thank you so much, Catherine. Blessing. I appreciate that.
I'm just checking something here.
All right.
I mean, I think, just Satan will catch his Waterloo.
I agree.
I mean, he went to Harvard, but I mean, he must be bright, but that's still very frightening.
Well, so did Mike Lee and Ted Cruz.
Exactly. Oh,
right.
you mean the Billy Goat? That's.
And didn't Josh Hawley go there too? I think so. Yeah.
You might have. Bob wants to know if the U.S. is going into a recession soon.
If they don't raise the debt ceiling, yes, but I see the debt ceiling being raised.
Yeah, but that's going to take a while, isn't it? Don't you think it's going to take a while?
Before the economy improves?
Well, I think we have until June for them to raise the debt ceiling.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
it's going to come down to the wire, though, I feel.
Looks like we got to wait out the storm. That's what I got on my card here. Wait out the storm and prepare for trouble. Of course, they're already saying they're not touting Biden for what he has done, which is some fabulous stuff. Unemployment rate and this and that and all these other things. And they're just picking on how much eggs cost and gasoline. And then they want to stop the gasoline coming from the, coming out so that we can have gasoline. Margie says, don't let him have that. It's like, let's just screw with everything.
Trying to do the Republicans, I think, are trying to create a recession so they can say, look what Biden did, but they're the people that are doing it because they think it'll put them in office, but really they're just crucifying themselves.
Yeah,
I think you're right. Yeah,
and look at all that with the debt limit. That's the debt that was occurred through Trump's presidency.
Most of it, yes.
A lot of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I threw a couple cards on this, and just intuitively, I do feel like the winter and spring a little bit rough with the economy. But I feel like as we're getting into the summer, into the fall, it feels like it's getting stronger. But I just threw a couple cards, and I have like action is being taken by Biden, King of Cups. And we're going to get through this. We got the Magician. So we're manifesting that good economy coming in. He's got a plan to really take care of things.
He does. He's amazing, really. What he's done also to cobble together everybody from all over the world to help the Ukrainians. It's just amazing.
Right, yeah.
There isn't anybody else that could have done that so savvy, as he has. Yeah.
He's not afraid, that's for sure.
Right. And I do think that he was kind of divinely guided into the presidency in 2020. I would say that Biden probably wasn't my favorite of the candidates running.
No, nobody's really.
Right, but I've been very surprised in a good way of all the good things he's been able to get accomplished. And I mean, he had so much on his plate coming in too. So, and then you have obstructionists in our own party, not allowing him to get a lot of that stuff done. So
true, that's very true. And the thing is that we have such a bad ageism bias that he's too old, or whatever. And he's a little bit older than Trump, and Trump is a wingnut, and he can't make any decisions. He has no savvy, but Biden really does. He's a smart guy, and yes, he's older. So what?
Trump has absolutely no class.
No, absolutely.
I just looked up DeSantis. I didn't know what nationality. I guess his great grandparents or something came from Italy, and he's so anti-immigration. Oh, really? He's a disgraziato, disgrace to the Italians.
That's right. It's interesting. Somebody asked about Ilmar Owen. Sorry, you know who I mean. She has been put on the budget committee. So I love this because what's happening is Hakeem Jeffries is seeing that, okay, she got kicked out of the Foreign Policy Committee, but she's going to go on the budget committee. Just like I said last night with the Democrat, Ron Goldman, the attorney from the Trump, is going to be up against Jim Jordan. So it's like, woo, we got some really fun stuff coming, We really do.
She is going to be formidable. And I'll tell you, somebody else who's going to be formidable too is Liz Cheney. She's not going to take, I don't like her politics, but she's not going to take a back seat.
No, she is
not going to happen.
Yep.
I mean, I just read an article from MSNBC about Trump. And like, if he runs, it's like, okay, still they're saying a lot of Republicans are afraid of him. Behind closed doors, they say one thing, but publicly they say something else. So they need to grow.
And it was a bit of a reality check. I think that they've gotten to the point, a lot of them, that they know that he's a big loser for their party. I mean, they should have taken the House much bigger margins, even be competitive in the Senate. And 2020 he lost, 2018 he lost. So I think they realized. Well, right, and he picked the worst candidates to go up there, and they're really trying to distance themselves. And it's going to come to a point this year where the Republican Party implodes because they have had enough, and we're already starting to see it. But
so he goes on with what? Let's say somebody. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a fun. What were you saying, Allie?
He goes on with somebody, like he'll go on a tour around with them, and they'll introduce him and they'll say everything about him. And then later on, reporters have heard them say, why doesn't he just die? They want him to die. And they're saying this out loud.
I just read that. They were like, behind the scenes, they're hoping a lot of Republicans that Trump will die because they don't want to stick up. They don't want to stand up.
They don't want to. They don't want. Yeah. No guts.
This is High Celtic Seer. I won't read the F word that she put up, but she's talking about the Satan, and she goes, "He better not try something like this with Irish women. They chew them up and spit them out."
There you go.
So will the Italian woman, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
All right.
Ramon, we were talking about this a little bit earlier, and I do feel like that is part of the reason too. I mean, he has a lot on his plate, but I do think that there's that fear there of riots, but I don't see him, people have to be accountable for their actions, and I see him going full steam ahead, but I do feel like there's that little bit of caution there with it too.
I don't think that, I really don't think that has much to do with it. I think Merrick Garland is very, very methodical. And he's not going to come out with something just for the sake of public pressure. He's going to make sure that he's got a case. I agree, Kevin, that I think, you have to be careful so you don't incite riots. I get that. But I don't think he's holding up on indictments on purpose. He just wants to wait until he can, like I said earlier,
have all his ducks in a row.
Yeah.
Correct.
He's treading lightly, though, I feel, and that's to make sure that he has the evidence. But I do feel like there's that concern there, though, too, because, all of the domestic terrorism incidences and inciting that.
Yep. But I'm really concerned because they're talking about wanting to impeach him. They just filed the impeachment papers today for Alexander Mayorkas. Did you hear that?
No.
Department is saying
about
He's
what?
the Homeland Security guy. He's the guy. They're blaming him for the border mess, and of course Biden as well. So
it was not going to go anywhere.
I hope. Well, yeah, that's true.
You know what? It's just a
Senate will blow it out. Yeah.
Here's what the MAGAs do: like Green, Boebert, Trump, McCarthy, the Satan, divert, deceive, detract, right?
Yep.
The D's: divert, deceive, detract, and that's what they're doing. They're just. It's really they're creating a circus to take people's attention off of
absolutely
bad stuff. That's all the stuff that's coming down to bite Trump, and then you know what?
Yeah.
Oh, I like this one. I had to put this on. No middle name. I love you, Mel. You make me laugh. Mary Trump, 45's mother should have been rowed out of her boat.
That's great. Oh, that's great. Yeah, she was really crazy. Did you see her hair? Oh my God.
All right.
Oh, this is a good one. Roxy said female athletes are known to have lose their menstrual cycle due to intense
That's
sex.
true.
What
Yeah.
happens then?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Right.
It wouldn't surprise me, though, that he wants to make sure that they're not pregnant, too, and getting an abortion. That, and that's just
Right.
right along with the way he thinks,
I hadn't heard about this.
Oh,
Somebody says that was the Chinese weather balloon spotted over the U.S. today heading towards Roswell.
Oh, it's
I
a
saw
joke
somebody
because
else
Roswell, New Mexico, and they think it's a weather balloon instead of the UFO.
Mhm.
But
Somebody else posted about it, though.
There is a Chinese balloon, I think they said, that was flying over.
I got it right here. It was spotted over Filling, Montana. Is it a threat?
Oh, really?
I don't think it's a threat. I mean, if the government thought it was something really like a spy thing, they would shoot it down.
Right.
That's true. It's over Montana, though. What's in Montana that they would have any need for?
Mhm.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. But there might be something there. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, I don't.
the back door to.
Hard on it.
That doesn't concern me at all.
Yeah.
I mean, the balloon or whatever it is. But I like that when it says the Roswell. It's cute.
I have here that it's just a realization of some things that are going on. It's to see if we're paying attention.
Mhm.
And or like you said before, it's pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Look at this. It's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those.
I feel like they're kind of looking over something or reviewing something. I'm not picking up a threat, though.
Oh, okay.
But like they're looking
Watching the
into something.
cows.
Right? I don't know, but I agree with Mel. I don't feel like a big threat. It doesn't feel
I
like
agree.
there's information or anything like that.
Oh, there are several nuclear sites there. Okay. That's interesting. Okay.
But I think if the government thought for 1 nanosecond that it was spy, they would.
The balloon would be going down. Yeah.
Right. That's right. Yep. They don't even plow in Montana. I've gone through there before, and it's just you go with your own risk.
We were talking about Navalny earlier today, but Janice wants to know how he's doing and if he'll ever be free. I felt for a while though he's been struggling very, very deep.
Yep. I agree.
I'm reading some of these comments. I'm sorry, and I'm cracking up.
I know I love them. They're so great.
That whole just Satan thing. I'm just loving this. I'm like, oh my.
The snark is great, isn't it?
I love it. You Vanessa, that's hysterical. She says, does that mean they'll measure his equipment to make sure he's a legit make? I'm sorry. Sorry, Kevin. I'll behave.
Oh, you're fine. I'm just trying to get caught up in the chat. Wiki says the Pentagon is tracking the balloon.
Oh, yeah, it probably is.
What does it say? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Wiki said that the Pentagon is tracking the balloon.
Uh-huh. Okay.
All right.
Somebody's
really interesting. I hadn't heard of that before seeing it in the chat.
Uh-huh.
What were you saying, Mel?
Yeah.
Were you looking at something, Mel? I'm sorry.
No, I'm just looking at no middle name. She goes, how tall is this Satan without his lifts? He looks a solid 5'3".
I love his white boots.
I see the fashion police arresting him.
I know it. I know. It's great.
I wonder if if he decides to jump into the presidential race for the Republican Party, if him and Trump are going to spat about how small his hands are.
Wouldn't surprise me.
How tall is this Satan? Does anybody know for sure?
Not sure. I don't know. Maybe 5'10".
I didn't know they piled dirt that high. I was going to say something else, but I don't want to go to YouTube jail.
Okay. No, we don't want Kev. It's his channel, so he'll be the one that has to go to
Yeah,
YouTube.
let's not do that.
Kevin,
today,
Allie, and Mel Comedy Hour, you all.
right?
Yeah, there you go. Oh, it's George Santos. It isn't a balloon. It's George Santos. Yes. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's great. You guys are
This
fun.
is a pretty easy question, but
Okay.
is there a link between Russia, Brexit, and Trump trying to get us out of NATO?
Totally. 100%.
Yes.
I've been saying
it has Boris Johnson all over it.
That for a long time.
My guys have been telling me all along that, that Putin and Trump were talking, and Putin wanted to control Trump when Trump was against NATO, to weaken NATO, because then Putin thought it would be an open door to go into Ukraine and other NATO countries like Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia.
Right.
But it's not working.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my goodness.
I mean, his threats of nuclear weapons is kind of reminiscent of the Cold War.
It is. It definitely is. So DeSatan is 5'9". Thank you for letting us know.
Well, it doesn't mean wild, you know what that.
And yes, Storm Lady Elizabeth, I did watch AOC condemning Republican caucus against Omar, and she was fabulous.
Oh, what did she say?
Oh my, she's very savvy. She was given all this, women of color and it was great. It was great. And everybody behind her is like this,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to check out some of those speeches. I missed them today. So. And this is Allie. She has a YouTube channel, Heart and Soul Connected.
Oh, hi. Hi, Jan.
And please make sure to go subscribe to Allie's channel. And if you're not subscribed to Mel's channel already, go over to his channel and subscribe. Always hit the thumbs up. We appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. We got more.
Wouldn't be here without you.
I start a bunch of them.
All right. Do you get a timing's always so hard, but do you get a timing, either of you two, on when the repubs are going to get charged for January 6th? I feel indictment. It feels like it's a little bit maybe like end of spring, summer.
Well,
but,
it's going to happen all at once.
Right.
If you hear, stretched out over some months. That's what I think.
But it's going to take some time for people to be charged, I feel.
Right.
We know how quick our legal system works.
I think there's some coming down in March, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, it could be, because I do feel January 6th stuff coming out in March.
I got some great cards here. I got the Naked Man, the Naked Man and the Grim Reaper.
So it's like with that Naked Man, like being totally exposed.
Right, absolutely.
For their corruption and then the end of their career.
Definitely. Well, at the very least, we just don't want him to be able to run for president anymore. The Orange Man. But the others, they also should never be able to be in Senate or any. They shouldn't be the dog catcher, So
honestly, to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind if Trump actually got the nomination, and I don't see that. But I think that there's no way that Trump could ever and would ever be elected president again.
I feel like if he doesn't get the Republican nomination, he'll run on an independent.
Take some votes away.
Well, because if he doesn't get it from the Republican Party, Trump gets even. And he's going to think, if I can't be in the Republican Party, I'll just bring down the party. I mean, that's what he does.
Yeah.
I felt that as well, Mel. And when these Republicans stop, kissing his rear, with that ego, he's going to take down the whole Republican Party. It's going to probably happen sometime this year, I feel.
Yeah. But don't you think if there's too many Republican candidates, that it's going to definitely push him to the forefront and he'll get the nomination because of it?
It could. But, I don't know. That's a very good observation. But
no? Okay.
Or if he doesn't run as an independent, Marjorie Taylor Greene might.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, and I don't like doing death predictions, but I don't know if he's even going to be on our planet come 2024 election.
Well, I've been saying all along, I don't see a long life for him, and I see
don't
things
either.
all around him. I love the dog, by the way.
Thank you. She, the other dog that's with her didn't want her to share the bed, so she's now, feeling sad. So
is this one the one that barks after an hour?
Yes, after an hour, she tells me I've been on an hour. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a cutie.
Yeah.
What do we see on what's happening to the housing prices? Affordability not here, few buyers, few sellers now.
Well, I see them coming down. And the reason the Fed raised the interest rates is because my guides tell me is because they didn't want another crash to happen like happened in 2008. Mm-hmm. And I think they'll raise the rates 2 more times, but then after that, they'll start bringing them down.
Bringing them back down.
Houses on the market. So I see it. I see them becoming more affordable. They did support inflation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's where like the rate increases maybe happen until that summertime, and that's when they maybe start bringing them down, because I feel like a shift halfway in the year. And I do feel like there's going to be a lot of help for people, federal programs for people, like assistance, that kind of thing. More money being put into that. I see Biden taking that very seriously. It's just kind of hard right now because, we have the Republicans taking over the House at the moment.
Yeah, with all their agendas that have nothing to do with anything. Yeah.
Real quick, what do you all think about this weather that's going to happen in the East Coast? It's supposed to be this wind chill, and I just seeing here it's going to be close to 50 below with wind chill in Maine, and so.
Oh, I had no idea it was going to go that low.
Well, with the wind chill.
Well, yeah, but still, yeah.
But
wow.
Yeah, I've been reading the comments here, and I've been looking, and so before we started, it said that there's going to be this huge wind chill issue on the East Coast, and so thank God they've got a power grid to handle it all.
Yeah,
more so than Texas.
Me and you have been saying, Mel, that people have been like, well, this has been a pretty mild winter. Me and you are both predicting a really cold, snowy winter. It's like we still got some time into winter. And we've had a couple really cold storms that have kind of came through.
We have.
So.
Yeah. It reminds me of when I was a kid. I see that we have New Hampshire Mountain Dancer here. I'm from Derry originally and grew up in New Hampshire. And, we used to have 10-foot snow, it would go up to the top of the house sometimes. So we're just getting that cycling back, I think.
Yeah.
Well, we get some major, but this winter in Chicago has been pretty mild. I mean, when I first moved here in 1983, it would snow in October, and we wouldn't see the ground again until spring. Major snowstorms. But for the past 5 years or 6, climate change, I can see it happening here since I've been here over the past 40 years.
Yep, definitely.
You get a lot of
I'm sorry,
Alex.
No, I just wondered if you heard about the 600-mile ice broke off down in Antarctica. A 600-mile or 600, it's a 600-mile piece of ice broke off from the ice shelf down there, like 2 or 3 days ago. Yeah. So you can see how it's doing that, and people in New Zealand right now are getting like 3 months worth of rain in a day. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, it's climate change.
Yeah, it is.
Mel, you're not too far from part of the Great Lakes. Do you get lake effect snow where you're at? Because we have the wind; it blows right over where we're at.
We do. I live about Lake Michigan is about 8 miles east from where we live.
Okay.
And we do get lake effects.
Yeah.
So.
I get pretty lucky because it usually blows it right past me, like in like a mile or 2 south of us, is where they really start to get hit. But I mean, I feel like me and Mel's like climate's pretty similar. Being around
much, except sometimes here it gets colder than it does in Siberia.
Okay.
It's supposed to be 10 here tomorrow. It's going to be warm tonight, but then like 30 and be cold tomorrow. So.
Oh, okay.
What do we see about any chance for student loan forgiveness? I still feel it's going through.
Oh, you do?
Oh, I feel like it's going to come up a couple of more roadblocks and kind of like stall, but I do see it eventually getting through.
I do at some point, but I think that the Democrats are going to have to take back over the House for that to happen. But I do see it going through.
But isn't it going to the Supreme Court? Isn't it at the Supreme Court? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a court thing. It's because it's an executive action.
Even if it gets to the Supreme Court and they say that student loans can't be forgiven, at some point, I see new justices on the court.
Mm-hmm.
So it could go back to the court.
And maybe that's it too. By the time it gets to the Supreme Court or it's heard, me and Mel both have been feeling a couple people leaving the court.
Leaving.
So. Mm-hmm. It could happen a little bit sooner, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I see that. I definitely see some student loan relief in the future.
Did you hear there's a movie out, a documentary on Kavanaugh? And it was at the film festival, the one that Robert Redford does. And it's supposed to be coming out. It's a documentary about not only what he did to one girl, but what he did to another girl.
Mm.
And it's an expose on him. So I found that
be in deep doo-doo. Like, he might try to file a lawsuit to say it's not true, but if he does, if I were he, I wouldn't do that. And his lawyers would probably tell him, don't do that, because these people will come forward and prove that he filed a frivolous lawsuit and is going to fight him.
Right.
So,
well, I see a lot more coming out, and maybe even investigations into the FBI, because there was a lot of people coming out and sharing information that they had on Kavanaugh, and they were not vetting that information. They were told.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, they pushed him through like they did the other girl. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Wow. Amazing.
Caught up on the chat real quick. Yeah, it's been cold here in Ohio, like off and on. Not like terribly cold, but definitely chilly. So
we're supposed to be getting a 45 to 60 wind gusts here tomorrow near Seattle, and it's kind of bad because we have a lot of old trees that need to be actually taken down, and so we lose our power pretty quickly.
Yeah,
it's everywhere. Yeah.
Celtics here says that iceberg that broke off is the size of Delaware, so that's pretty big.
Absolutely. Can you even imagine? And where'd it go?
It's probably still floating.
It's just floating around, I guess. Yeah.
But I would imagine all that weight would have to, get the water levels up.
Right. Absolutely.
It's about displacement. It's not so much raising the water levels up because that weight was there anyway.
Mm.
But it's about the displacement of the water when it breaks off.
Right.
It depends on the force with which it broke off, because that could create a tsunami. But I think, it'll probably just float around for a while and ultimately melt. Now, that would bring water levels up.
I was going to say, would that have something? It's raining, of course, in New Zealand, but it wouldn't be helpful also if the water got displaced, that would, could flood over there, I would think.
I tend to think, it can affect climate because it can change, warm the ocean, the ocean currents. I mean, the climate is warming, even with these cold snaps. That doesn't mean that the climate's not warming. When we have these glaciers melting, that's frightening.
Yeah, it is.
And that's a lot of these disasters that we keep seeing. It's just like all the flooding going on, and I do feel like coastal communities, the rising of water, going on into time too. So
yeah.
But my guides tell me we haven't tipped the scale too far yet. We can still help. I don't want to say save the climate, but from keeping this become
to be a disaster,
catastrophic. The scales haven't tipped yet. But if we don't do something, they will.
Yeah, I mean, we can't be waiting. Tick tock, Yeah.
Yeah, it's like keeping that balance, that equilibrium with it.
Absolutely. Yep.
This is interesting. We've been starting to hear more and more about Bill Barr. What do we see happening with him? Do you see an indictment for him?
I've always seen him in hot water. My guides have always shown me that. I think now he's trying to backpedal to save his skin, but I think when the Mueller report comes out and they start looking at it again, they're going to say, wait a minute, there was stuff here that was indictable. And they'll have to prove intent that he didn't indict because he was influenced by Trump. But there's people coming forward that will be able to show that his intent was to protect Trump.
Well, actually, I think he was interviewed 2 weeks ago, not this past weekend, but the weekend before by Bill Maher. And Bill Maher stuck him with some questions that his answers were a little, you get a chance to see it. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, Bill Maher's not afraid.
No, he's not. Not at all.
That interview.
I definitely feel quite a few investigations into him. I don't know if he's charged, but I definitely feel like a lot of trouble and a lot of like public scrutiny and shame kind of like that. And I don't feel very good about his health either. I know a couple of them might keep saying that, but I'm just drawn to like the stomach area for him just not feeling good at all.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to be in his shoes right now. It was pretty obvious what he did.
Yeah. Yeah, Debsy, I agree. I don't think his health is good. But you notice Pompeo got rid of a lot of weight. Did you notice that? He's been on some kind of a diet because he wants to run for president.
Yeah, I don't see him being successful with that.
I needed a good laugh, Allie. Thank you.
I thought so.
Sharon Kim says Bill Barr lied like a lizard on
he did.
Mark's show. I heard about it, but I don't know if I really saw it, so I'll have to check that out.
I just saw a blurb. I didn't see the whole thing, but yeah.
When will
get
his military pension revoked? And I definitely feel like he's losing that pension.
I see him under indictment again. You know, he might have been pardoned, but he's not out of the woods. And I see him having, I think if they dishonorably discharge him, even though if he's retired, he loses his pension. So I see it happening.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree with you, Mel. I see him being indicted. I think he's going to be charged and actually has to serve some time. That's what I'm feeling.
Hi to Christine Bermel. Christine's with us. Hi, Christine. She came to Croatia with us this summer. She was watching last night.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
And his brother's in trouble too. Mike Flynn's brother, I don't remember his name. He's in trouble too.
Who
isn't he still active? He's active military, isn't he?
I don't know if he's still active.
Yeah, his brother's
He was working like in the Pentagon or something, I think. I can't remember. But yeah.
You know what? Let's we didn't talk about it too much. I know we're almost at an hour, so probably, wrapping up with this or maybe another question. What are your hits about this FBI agent that got arrested? I feel like he's that missing link between Russia and Trump. Like, I feel like so much information. He's going to be the person that really connects a lot of these things.
Well,
tell me a little bit about it. I didn't hear about this. So
he was the FBI agent that was arrested that was doing something with one of the Russian oligarchs.
Oh, okay. Oh, that guy. Okay. Yeah, I remember now. Okay. Sorry.
Well, I think, they're going to pressure him, and I think he's going to sing like a canary. But I got a funny feeling he's also going to implicate other people in the FBI and some in the Secret Service. And that's why my guys kept telling me that, the whole Mueller report's going to come front and center again. And I kept thinking, how can that happen? Now we know.
Yeah. I think even the connection with some of the dark money too.
Correct. Yep.
So it's like multi-layered. It's not just Trump. It's like the dark money, and I do feel like he's the connection, Debsy. That's what I mean. He's like that missing link that really connects everything together.
It's like peeling back the onion skin, but it's not just one onion. It's a whole field full.
Right.
Yeah, this is like the biggest clue game you ever had to play, because you have to look in all the places and look at all the stuff.
A lot of stuff right back to Putin and the influence, influence peddling, and how Trump and his cronies were involved. I mean, it's going to be wow.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know what just hit me? My psychic light bulb went on. I see Kellyanne Conway being questioned, And I got a funny feeling they're going to investigate her for something as a result of this. It just
true. Yeah,
You know who
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Who just came on my radar really recently is Giuliani, and I feel like with that, it's like Georgia is acting like really, really quickly. I think that's like the thing that I feel like we're right on the precipice of. Maybe indictments from Georgia coming in, and then I think shortly after the document stuff, and more January 6th stuff coming up after that. But
I just love all these strong women. All these strong women are just making me so happy. Fani and what's her face in New York, and they're just all standing up and saying no more. I love it. Yeah,
well, my guides told me a long time ago with Trump that a woman or the women will bring him down. And look at what the Stormy Daniels and now all the women that came out against him, and boy,
Tish James and
And I even see his daughter turning on him, and I think that's going to really hurt him. Ivanka.
She did already, actually, by what she gave to the January 6th people. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a lot more, because I think she was kind of playing an act with the January 6th a little bit. But when push comes up and she's going to get in trouble, she's going to make a deal to save herself. She'll flip on her husband, too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is good, Celtics here. The full moon in Leo squaring Uranus on Sunday foretells of someone in power meeting his or her Waterloo unexpectedly. The game begins soon. Yeah, you're right about that. Buckle up. It's going to be a fun ride.
Yeah. We're also seeing a lot of celebrities dying. I mean, that happens all the time, I recognize. But it is interesting that Pluto's got some stuff going on, too, that's, really doing some influence. And so it's like every day you see one, and the next day you see another, and then you see another. So, yeah.
Find one more good one. That's okay. Cindy P. Fanny's about to spank Trump. Yes, she is. All right.
That's a good one. Yeah. A double wide between his eyes.
Oh, I heard about this. Wiki asked, what's going on with Chief Justice Roberts' wife? Another conflict of interest.
I didn't hear. What was it about?
I don't really know a whole lot of details, but I did vaguely remember hearing something going on with his wife. Maybe somebody in the chat can enlighten us a little bit more.
Yeah, I was thinking Jenny, but that's Clarence Thomas. Yeah.
But I'm thinking that there is a conflict of interest there somewhere. That's what I heard. Yes, I just don't know what it is. I don't know enough about it really.
It's interesting though, because I definitely feel Thomas leaving the court soon.
Hope so.
And I feel Kavanaugh too, but I feel like a little bit out there still. But Roberts came up to mind as well in the past about possibly leaving.
I keep seeing 2 new justices, possibly 3 coming on the court under the Biden term.
Okay, yeah, I do too. But I feel like it might be Roberts too, because I feel like he's getting really kind of sick of all the craziness going in there and kind of worried about his own legacy. Not to say that he's, very innocent and everything, but.
Well, at least he'll be replaced by at least a moderate justice. So.
Oh, so it's his wife goes to law firms and they argue court cases before the Supreme Court, and she's making millions. Oh boy, there's really something that would be a surprise. There's a surprise.
Thank you, super truthful. Wow.
Yeah.
And plus, I wonder if she's feeding inside information to the justices. Probably.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I'm telling you, my guides, and I've talked about this forever. My guides keep showing me that there's going to be this code of ethics coming down that the justices must follow that will stop a lot of this conflict of interest, and if they don't follow the codes of ethics, then they're off the court. That's what I see.
Yeah.
But who can legislate that? I mean, would that come from the Justice Department?
I don't
Because,
know.
yeah, because aren't they in for life? And it's almost like they don't have anything that can be against them.
I see it change though. Like, for example, I don't know if the Constitution says they're in for life, but I see term limits coming for them.
Good.
But also stuff like this. For a long time we thought the Supreme Court was just, whiter than white, that it was, untouched. And now, it's tainted by Trump and his cronies and, some of the justices that he put on. And a lot more of this is going to be exposed. It's here again, the month of accountability, the year of accountability.
The year. Yep.
And it's a 7-year, which is actually spiritual. So it's trying to get us back in balance.
And March will be the month of truth. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I
can definitely feel that, Mel.
So what she's doing, I don't know if it's illegal, but it teeters.
There's something to this. This is really resonating with me. Like, it's getting much, much bigger. And maybe that is why Roberts ends up stepping down or something. Because I don't know. He's kind of came on my radar a little bit about not being in there for too much longer as well.
Yeah.
Who was that minister that came forward, that big shot minister, and said that they were taking these justices to fancy dinners and essentially paying them off without paying them off to get what they want to put through? And the justices agreed to it before they even heard those cases.
Right.
Of course.
So that's going to come out.
Yeah. One of the gals.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. One of the gals I know that does a lot of astrology, she was telling me about the Ides of March. And if you remember about, the old story about Brutus and all that deception and everything. And she's just, the way she said the planets are positioned, it just sounds almost like that's the Ides of March are on their way. And we're just going to start. Yeah. Something to think about.
Yeah, March feels like a huge month. Thank you so much for your super sticker, Sharon. All right, you guys. I think that's going to be it for questions tonight. It's been a fun night hanging out with both of you and seeing Allie. We haven't done a show in a while, so definitely a lot of fun.
We got to do this again. This was fun.
Yeah. It was fun. Thank you. Thank you so much. I had a great time.
Yeah. Real quick, before we wrap up, please go over to Mel's channel and go over to Allie's channel and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to plug myself for just 1 second. I did hit my 6,000 subscribers, so I am doing my giveaway for a free reading and a free Reiki session. How you enter that? My Tuesday show, it's marked January 31st. Leave a comment on that video, starting with reading or Reiki, depending on what you'd like. And then on my Tuesday show, this coming Tuesday, I will pick my 2 winners. So
there you go. Good luck, everybody. Yeah. That's great.
All right.
Congratulations, Kevin.
Yes, congratulations, Kevin. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, you all. It's been fun. Sending you all a lot of love and a lot of blessings. And we will all see you all real soon. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Aloha.